Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another obligatory and yet redundant E3 video. I care about doing these videos so much to the point where I literally am going to scratch my nose on camera and really not worry about it. I don't have a booger this time. I checked. Today we're going to be wrapping up the prediction series, and it's so funny that we're wrapping up prediction series when we're only 2 videos in. And it's mainly due to the fact that there's really not much for us to discuss, considering one of the biggest shows at E3 is not going to be here this year, and I'm of course referring to the PlayStation conference. But I'm going to use this opportunity to close off my predictions with talking about Microsoft. And not only just Microsoft, we might as well just throw Square Enix into the mix, because God forbid I ever come on here and do another standalone Square Enix predictions video. I disappointment out the wazoo. Anyways, let's talk about these predictions, right? Like, what do I think is going to happen? This year is going to be very, very interesting for Microsoft, and I know we say that every single year because Xbox is kind of the brand where literally if I had to make an equivalent, if I had to pick a movie that's just perfectly encapsulates every single year when it comes to hyping up the Xbox brand, it'd be Batman vs. Superman, because we had to hear constantly from people from 2013 up until 2016, oh, if you think the Avengers or Star Wars The Force Awakens is the biggest movie of all time, wait for 3/26/2016 and then we'll talk. Have we not heard that every single year with Microsoft? This is going to be the biggest year for Xbox. Xbox gamers are going to be so happy and so floored. And what happens? What happens every single year? Guys, it is safe to say that this generation has been an absolute disaster for Microsoft. I'm sorry, Phil Spencer, he's your best friend, Uncle Phil this, Uncle Phil that, and, Xbox gamers have, liked each other's statuses 14.4 billion times this month, and 6 million people have rolled into cover on Gears of War. Like, guys, at the end of the day, like, all this stuff that people are hyping up, like, backwards compatibility and Xbox Game Pass and all these things. Where are the games? Where are the games?
Where are the video games? Where my video? I can't breathe.
It's so sad. I do not want to make this into an Xbox rant, because I literally, like, it's so funny because there was a company that I was ranting about for so many years that they needed to get their shit together. They needed to come out here with a better system. They needed to come out here with the games out the gate for the gamers. And they had to realize and remember that they are making a game system for gamers. Features come second, games and quality exclusives are first, because that's what sells your exclusive. And you want to know what company that was? That company was freaking Nintendo. This company went from the absolute disaster that was the Wii U, and they managed to turn those things around with the Switch. And in just 1 year, I think they outsold the Wii U and then some. Like, can y'all even believe that? And not only that, but they had some of the highest and critically acclaimed games on the generation come out on the Switch. You're telling me that Xbox couldn't do that in the same amount of time? You're telling me that from 2013 up until now, we're in 2019, they couldn't have a turnaround? They couldn't have realized, like, halfway through the gen, okay, yeah, we really need to get our shit together, so we'll start busting out these quality exclusives? No, what did we get out of the Xbox this generation? What did we get? We got another Halo game. Okay, fine. We got another Gears game. Okay, fine. Those games didn't set the world on fire. Like, this generation, we got another Zelda game. We got another Uncharted game. We got a lot of these same games, but those games are setting the world on fire. We got another God of War game. That game is categorically different than previous God of War games, and yet it set the world on freaking fire. Like, where are those games for Xbox? Where are those exclusives for Xbox? Where are those games that'll get people to play on the Xbox ecosystem? I mean, it's so funny that I have to say the ecosystem now, because it is bigger than just the Xbox console. It's the Xbox brand and what they're going to do with PC. And herein lies the problem. I know a lot of people are saying that Microsoft is playing the long game. Microsoft is coming out here and they're trying to make it so Xbox is more of a brand and not a system, so you can play your games anywhere, and they're going to be able to stream the games to your phone, and you're going to be able to play these games on PC and all that stuff. Yeah, sure. It's for the betterment of the consumers. Like, it's going to be awesome playing my Xbox games on PC, at the best possible graphical fidelity. That's great. but what are you doing for your Xbox console? What are you doing for those gamers, right? The gamers who want those great games. You're not giving it to them. The only people who are benefiting from Gears of War 5 coming to PC are PC gamers, not the Xbox gamers. They're not. Like, they're just getting another Gears of War. What Xbox gamers want is a Horizon. What Xbox gamers want is a Spider-Man. What Xbox gamers want is a Breath of the Wild. Like, those type of games where it's like, whoa, everyone's talking about. When was the last time we had an Xbox game like that? Halo 3? What was Halo 3? That's 2007. That was a long freaking time ago, y'all. Like, let's just be real about life. Let's take off all of the tinfoil hat conspiracies. Let's take away all the fanboy this, fanboy that. You know, you're just a Sony or a PlayStation or a Nintendo fanboy, whatever. Let's just stop. Objectively look at Microsoft throughout the entire generation. What games have come out that have gotten you to buy an Xbox? And don't y'all say, well, I buy the Xbox for the experience and playing with my friends and the controller. They have released more control. That adaptive controller is the best thing that Microsoft has done this generation. I love that Microsoft is catering to the community in that respect. Good on y'all. Now, that being said, I said I wasn't going to rant, but it ended up being a rant. I'm sorry, y'all. Shit like this just happens. What are some of the things that we assume are going to happen, even though they say this is going to happen every year? I assume we're going to be hearing about the next Xbox, the Xbox Scarlet. Like, we've heard the rumors that they're going to be coming out with multiple SKUs. One of them is going to be like a baseline model. One of them is just going to be streaming only. The other one is going to be like a more powerful high-end pro version or whatever. And all that stuff is well and good. You're giving the consumers options, so that's awesome. What about the games? We know that Microsoft has gone on a developer buying spree. They're buying all these studios out there. They bought Obsidian. You know, they're commissioning some of their teams. They're finally letting them work on different games other than another Forza and another Halo, you know? So that's all well and good. I'm excited to see where they go from with that. But until we see those games and they're tangible and they're playable and they don't have any of the BS that afflicted any of the games this generation from Microsoft, I can't get excited about them. Like, I know everybody, they just want to say, yes, I'm so excited about the prospects of a Fable game by the guys who did Forza Horizon. That's great. I want to get excited about it too. But this whole games is a streaming service, this whole microtransactions and all this stuff that could have, that plagued potentially great games like Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, both of those games had the potential to be something interesting, but you saw the attention that went into those games and the state in which Microsoft said, hey, we're going to release the games like this. You're telling me that we're supposed to somehow give them faith going forward into the next generation just because a more competent developer is working on it? Like I'm sorry, y'all, but Crackdown 3 should not have happened. It should not have come out in the state that it did, especially with all the time that they invested in it. It shouldn't have. So excuse me for being kind of cautious that now they own all these people like Ninja Theory, and you're telling me that we should just get excited for their games. Now, I'm sure those games are going to be great, but you can't sit here and fault someone for being skeptical, because look what Microsoft has done to all these other companies that they bought before. You could say it's new leadership now and things are going to change, and look, they're listening to the people. Yeah, but what is listening to the people really gave the people this generation? Xbox One sales have not increased. They haven't. Like, the system is always constantly on sale. When people are always talking about some of the most hyped games, like I said, PlayStation, Nintendo, and then whatever's the next big thing on PC. So I don't know, I can't get excited for Microsoft when they come out here and they say 14 new studios will be showing off the most first-party games here and everything, when they're literally just going to show us a logo and that's it. We're not going to see the game for a few years and we're just going to have to worry about whether or not the game is going to be good. Now, I love to be proven wrong. I was proven wrong this generation with Nintendo and the Switch. But you know what? Nintendo and Microsoft are very different. Microsoft is not Nintendo. And in some ways, as messed up as this sounds, I would never ever say this, Microsoft could learn a thing or two from Nintendo. Microsoft could learn a thing or two from PlayStation. They really could. Phil Spencer has been in position too long for him just to be outputting this stuff. I'm sorry. Anyways, going forward, Square Enix, their conference, if you will, there's a lot of hype surrounding it. As you guys know, the Final Fantasy VII Remake reared its absent head at the recent State of Play. It was a thing. Like, this is the thing. Why do people still get excited about Square Enix games? Why? Why do y'all do that to yourselves? Like, if Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 weren't big indications that this company is incapable of making AAA quality RPGs, why are we getting excited for this? Like, we already know about all the behind-the-scenes troubles with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's admirable that they're actually taking the time to fix the game. But why would you hand off this project that has been gestating for over 10 years to incompetent people? Why would you do that? You should have the top quality brass working on this game who can get this game out in a timely fashion, and by that I mean take Tetsuya Nomura's name off these projects, please. That man don't even know what game he's working on. For all we know, this man is working on the next freaking Dino Crisis game for freaking Capcom. Who knows? He might be. Hey. I need that. What I've been saying for the longest time Square Enix needs is new blood, and by new blood I mean they need new people managing this company, because it is just evidently abundantly clear that their Japanese division, they mean well, they really do, but it's just a bunch of old Japanese men. I'm sorry guys, but they don't know what people want. They don't, and you can throw around these sales figures all you want, that Final Fantasy 15 is the highest sell. Who out here is going to be remembering Final Fantasy 15 like they did Final Fantasy 7? Who out here is going to be asking for a Final Fantasy 15 remake in 20 years? No, we still got people asking for remakes for Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 6. And you know what? Even though we just got the Final Fantasy 12 HD remaster, we got people asking for a Final Fantasy 12 remake. Like, this is not going to happen. Like, I would, for one, love a remake of Kingdom Hearts 3 so, you know, they can actually do the game right. But, yeah, the Final Fantasy 7 remake, I'll believe it when I see it, man. That's all I can freaking say. Now, that being said, it's not all doom and gloom for Square Enix's Japanese division. There are a couple of games that I am looking forward to from smaller studios, if you will, the projects that are more manageable, if you will, because it just seems like when you attach scale and scope to Square Enix, it's just like they panic and they're just under pressure. That's literally what it is. I do think some of the smaller projects that they have going on, such as Octopath Traveler, those are games that we got to be looking out for, you know? The sequel to that, we already know it's going to be coming. It's just a matter of when they announce it. If they take the feedback from the first game and they incorporate some changes, I think the sequel could be like that Uncharted 2. It could be the game that we all wanted the first Octopath Traveler to be. Because Octopath Traveler was a fun game. It was great. But I know a lot of people had some problems with it, especially a lot of people who, you know, they loved old school JRPGs, but they realized that, you know, some of the tropes that existed in the way they did certain things really doesn't stack up in a modern setting. So if they could just incorporate a lot of the feedback into crafting the sequel, I think we're in for a really, really fantastic treat. Same for some of the other games that they come out, you know, games that are more manageable, such as the Dragon Quest series. You know, Dragon Quest 11S is coming to the Nintendo Switch and it's hosting a wealth of upgrades. And it's so funny that I have to say that Dragon Quest is a more manageable franchise, considering that it's technically one of the pillars of Square Enix next to Final Fantasy, you know? But it just seems like the people working on that series know what they want to do. And they're just like, yeah, this is exactly what we're going to do. And, you know, we kind of messed up with the original Dragon Quest XI, so on the Switch version, we're going to come out with all this bonus content. It kind of sucks for the people who own it on PlayStation 4 and PC. They're not getting this bonus stuff. But I'm a Switch owner, so, you know, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what we're looking forward to. So, that's freaking great. In addition to that, what else do they got coming out? Like, they got a couple of collaborations here and there with other studios that they'll probably show off, which I don't really care about. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it, when the game is in my hands, so why are we hyping about it? That's another game that I'll believe it when I see it, the Marvel Avengers project. It's finally going to get unveiled. Do you guys remember when they first showed that game off a few years ago and they were just straight up like, don't ask us about this? I think that was in the official press release. It's like, Marvel the Avengers, don't ask us about this game. And that was, what, 2017? It's been 2.5 years and they haven't showed the game at all. We've heard a lot of things behind the scenes that it was apparently going to be like an online games as a service title, because that was the craze everybody was chasing after. And good golly, Miss Molly, that would have been the worst thing in the world if they ever came out with a games as a service title for that. Especially with the way Square Enix has handled some of their other games and microtransactions and rest in peace, Deus Ex. Rest in peace. But yeah, apparently now they've streamlined it. It's a lot more focused on, you know, action co-ops or whatever that means. I don't know. A lot of people are assuming that it's going to get the Marvel Ultimate Alliance treatment, but that's kind of weird considering we already have a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game coming out. I don't know how they're going to handle this because unless they only give you a handful of characters to play as, I really don't know about the viability of it. Because if you're just playing as the core Avengers, I could see how that could be crafted into a great co-op experience because all the characters would be unique. But when you have to come out here and you have to craft individual characters in Avengers, I could see that being very, very time consuming and really a big task. One of the reasons why the Ultimate Alliance games were easy to make was because, you know, it was just a beat 'em up title. You really didn't have to do or put much more work into that than you would like a Dynasty Warriors game. But if you're doing like a AAA budget Avengers game, you know, when you have multiple studios working on it, I think that, you know, the way these characters play is going to be very different. Like Captain America, you know, is going to play different, obviously, than Spider-Man and then the Hulk and then Iron Man. You know, you have to bring in these characters who are very aerial and they can do things. And, you know, Spider-Man being acrobatic, of course, it's not going to be like the brute that is the Hulk. And then characters who have no powers whatsoever, such as Black Widow. And then Hawkeye. Hawkeye uses archery. So, like, what is going on? So like that's why I've always been so perplexed about this idea, because on paper it sounds like a dream game, like co-op Avengers title with the love and care put into it as something like a Marvel Spider-Man. But then when you have all these multiple characters, realistically, how is that going to work? Is it going to blend? I don't know, but we will see at the Square Enix conference. Anyways, you guys, that was really all I wanted to talk about today in terms of my predictions for both Microsoft and Square Enix. I know it kind of came off as negative for both of them and I don't have faith in them whatsoever, and that's just because, I'm sorry, if you've been a fan of either of these two companies for the past like 5-10 years, you can be a little bit cynical and you can adopt this mindset that, hey, I will believe it when I'll see it, prove me wrong, because what have they done to really garner goodwill? Ask yourselves that. When has Square Enix put out an RPG on the level of Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy VII? You can come out here and say, well, I really enjoyed this, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It isn't. Like, you can tell the appeal of those games versus the stuff they have coming out with now. Then again, if they come out with the Kingdom Hearts collections on Switch, you know I'll be there day one and excuse them for all their sins and transgressions. Meeting for now, my name is NGS, signing out like always. I catch you guys later. Peace.